Hello and welcome back to my model railroad. As you can see, not a whole lot has really changed in the last year, unfortunately. Life got in the way, but one of the great things about model railroading is you can always go back to it, and it doesn't really matter how long you've been away. You can always kind of pick right up where you left off. As you can see, I did do a little bit more work with the scenery. Went and got some trees from a local hobby shop. Also expanded my buildings. This is a completed house. Well, obviously, liked the nice brighter yellow color. It's not too weathered, unfortunately, but that's always something I can do later. And assembled my car dealer, which I know based on the small size of the layout, it doesn't necessarily make sense to have a car dealer there and a little farm over here, but I wanted to be able to have both aspects in my small layout. And unfortunately, you just kind of have to make use of the size that you have. Along that same lines, I know one of my last details I had talked about adhesives, and as you can see here, my spray adhesive is starting to peel up a little bit. So although it looks a little bit nicer, at least as far as being flat is concerned, my regular Elmer's glue approach adhesive is actually holding up a lot better. It still has those lines in it. What I really think would maybe be the best method would be to mix some water with the glue and really just paint over the entire surface and just make sure you get a nice even finish. So going forward with this layout, I will probably actually be moving in a couple of weeks, fingers crossed at least. So my next video after this would probably be something along the lines of how to pack up and transport a model railroad. I know it doesn't really sound all that exciting, but my goal is that, being able to separate the tables here and the way that I ran my wires might be as such that I could actually transport this in, two larger pieces. I'll of course have to take the legs off my table, but with the idea that I would actually be able to then relatively quickly reassemble the entire layout. Because I'm supposed to be getting a larger hobby room and train room in my new residence, I have been spending a lot of time just trying to look at other layouts and different sizes, different dog bone layouts and things like that, and really kind of at an impasse of whether or not I want to keep on using the Bachmann Easy Track or to go with Flex Track. Flex Track would of course give me a lot more flexibility, and no pun intended, but also would make it a lot more difficult to really design the layout, or I'm sorry, not design the layout, but implement the layout, and that I'm a little concerned that I'm not yet experienced enough to do all that. But, I would appreciate your comments and any success stories or difficulties that in dealing with Flex Track and things of that nature. I'm guessing I would also have to be, get practice at road bedding and ballasting. I can always go ahead and ballast my roadbed track here, and in fact, I do plan to after I move. At least at the very least, just give me some practice in ballasting. But one other thing I wanted to visit was when I had actually stopped and purchased this yellow house. I'd spoken to a more professional railroader, and he had given me an idea on how to make this 262 Prairie locomotive work. I don't know if you remember from my previous videos, I'd said I was having some problems derailing with this front truck here. The railroader had actually recommended that I go ahead and maybe replace this spring. It's a little hard to see. It's right where the forward truck connects. That maybe if I, went and replaced it with a little bit of a stiffer spring, that would keep this truck riding on the rails a little bit more smoothly. I was also even thinking of maybe placing a spring under in the front of the truck here. Right now there's nothing there, just to provide a little bit more downward force and to keep these wheels from bouncing over my turnouts and from derailing the locomotive. I have had success running this locomotive as an 062, but I really like the look of the 262 Prairie, and if I can get it to work, why not just get it the official way. But anyway, thank you for your patience, and thank you for everybody's comments over the last about year or so. It's great to see other railroaders interested and in the hobby, and like I said, I appreciate all feedback I can get, and look forward to continuing the layout here. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you later.